Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing something that is considered a modern-day cult watch. This is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual GMT-Master II 116710LN Lunette Noire. It is the all-black GMT, the alternative to watches nicknamed after comic books and junk food. This is the stolid, sober Rolex standard for those who love the Rolex lore and legend but don't necessarily want to get into the multicolored contrivance of the traditional GMT bezel. Today, in the era when none of us are truly using these as pilot watches, grace and aesthetics matter more. Now, the timepiece is 40 millimeters in diameter and 12.7 millimeters thick, from lug to lug 48 millimeters, and if you were to measure it from end link to end link, it's a rather substantial 50.8 millimeters. So the super case is what defines the look of this watch on or off the wrist. As you can see, though a 40 like the previous 5-digit GMT, this one has more of a presence. Because it's broad and flat, it looks more like a 42 to 43 millimeter watch, and on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, it wears comfortably, being 12.7 millimeters thick. It's also viable as a dress watch, and I mentioned this one's a bit more stolid and sober, and indeed this could more easily be a formal watch than one of the tutti-frutti multicolored alternatives within the GMT category. So obviously the Rolex GMT watch spanning a huge range of looks, but since this one was discontinued at the beginning of 2019, I'm seeing a lot more interest in the timepiece. Now let's take a look at the hardware, which is impressive. Both the case and the bracelet made of Rolex 904L stainless steel. Rolex has its own foundry, it makes its own metal, and it makes its own case, bracelet, and clasp components. Why is that important? Well, it's done in-house, which is nice to know, and the metal is so anti-corrosive you don't need to rinse it after exposure to salt. That is rare. 316 can't do that, 904L can. Polished center, polished flanks, satin shoulders, and removable links fixed by screws. You can see polished internally. This is a flagship Rolex model. The ones that are not are media blasted inside. There is a beak and a hook system, so you have that lift lock that latches once, and then the clamshell latches again. There's a kerf underneath the crown, so you can easily dig your nail in and pop open the clamshell. There's the Rolex 5 millimeter Easy Link system, which takes in or out 5 millimeters, and it's the equivalent of adding or removing one sizable link. You don't need any tool to operate it, but you do need a tool if you want to use the divots drilled inside the clasp. I'm not sure if you can see them, but there are 3 divots drilled inside the clasp that allow you to change the anchoring point of the bracelet. So you have 3 ways to adjust the size: Easy Link, the drilled divots, and removable links. Now, rolling around to the case flank, you can see this is a bit bigger and burlier than a 16710, and that's because of the super case profile, as it's known. It's a little bit more sheer in profile, and the lug ends are broader, giving them a square-shouldered look. More masculine, definitely, but also more mass. As you can see, it is a trip lock crown, which is a screw down, giving the watch 100-meter water resistance. Because it's a trip lock, which is also used on the Submariners and the Sea Dwellers, I suspect this watch is actually more than 100 meters water resistant. The bezel is bidirectional, as the GMT bezels have been since the first models reached Pan Am pilot hands back in late 1954. If you set the green GMT hand to Greenwich Mean Time, you can use the bezel to offset using the GMT offset of your port or airport of destination, and that will allow you to temporarily read 3 time zones, and that's the difference between a GMT Master II and a GMT Master. You also have 2 independent time zones regardless. That's the GMT Master II bit. It allows you to move the local hour hand forward or backwards, east or west. You can even jump the date in both directions. The watch continues to keep time. It does not move the minute hand. It does not move the 24-hour hand. Now, when you pull the crown out all the way, hacking seconds. Now you set everything in sync. The 24-hour hand moves once around the dial every 24 hours. So it allows you to, if you wish, simply match the current time zone and use it as an AM/PM display, or keep track of far-flung relations, friends, and business associates. The bezel features a ceramic insert known as Cerachrom. It's Rolex's own ceramic. Highly scratch resistant. It helps to shield the watch from scratches. The numerals as well as the indices are all platinum deposits within wells inside the ceramic. So all of that designed to resist tarnish and scratching indefinitely. The dial, which features that lovely green hand and GMT Master script, is black lacquer with white gold hands and indices so that they will never oxidize or tarnish. Inside the case, you have Rolex manufacturer caliber 3186, solid case back, of course, automatic winding, bidirectional winding, 48-hour power reserve, 8 beats per second, hacking second, dual time capability. It features a full balance bridge with a free sprung index for shock resistance, a handmade Breguet overcoil hairspring and 5-position adjustment to earn a COSC chronometer certification, and the hairspring itself is Parachrom Blue, Rolex's blue oxidized anti-corrosive niobium zirconium alloy that is highly anti-magnetic. All of this pivots on 31 jewels. It is an impressively smooth movement with twin Teflon reversing wheels, bidirectional action, and a jeweled staff, so it's hard to hear or feel the rotor when it's in action. Technically impressive, physically handsome, and the all-black bezel, a bit of a cult watch, discontinued and much sought. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And we're back with the GMT-Master II. Note all 4 hands are loomed.